Kim Townsel here. Welcome to my channel. This video will show you the assembly and the analysis of the Troy-Bilt TB320. Let's find out what I need to put this thing together. It's supposed to be super easy. I almost think this one could be not fresh. Perhaps it's been used before. You told me the hardest thing was going to be getting it out of the box. That may be true. I don't even want this thing. I never used a rear bagger. It's seems just like a lot of trouble to me. Like I said, I just let everything go on the back on the ground. I think I'm actually supposed to bolt these handles in first. But hey, let's just do it the hard way. Why not? Nice. That wasn't too bad. Let's move this baby over so you can see it. Before starting, you must pull lower handle out of deck. Pull handle 8 inches out of deck. Before starting, you must pull lower handle 8 inches out of deck. Let's see what's in this bag. We have Briggs & Stratton SAE 30, just like he told me was going to be in here. I don't know what that is. Owner's manual, product registration, parts and warranty, and I don't know why I have two of these. Why do we have two? That's a little weird. Lord. Okay, let me read through this and I'll come back and do the important part. I think this is for handling the engine. I think this is for the mower, which is what I care about. Okay, read. I'm going to read this and come back. Reading instructions. I'm reading. Disclaimer here. I have never put together a lawnmower, but these directions are super confusing. I mean, look at that. Really? This is for someone who already knows what he or she is doing. It was helpful to me just to go to this picture and get the nomenclature first before trying to read the instructions. So what I think is I'm going to leave that on there because that's the mulch cover. That's what I normally do. It just keeps the grass from blowing out. And I will not be putting that on there because this blows the grass out. So it goes over there with the grass catcher. Then this is going to have to go up here because instead of pulling it from here, having to bend over to do it, apparently you're going to be able to pull it from here. And then I'm going to have to do these little bolt thingies here to get it to go straight up. And I think that's probably already the way it needs to be. And I don't have any fancy designs on there, so I'll just take the bubble wrap off. So let's see if I can do this part. Okay, I'm super frustrated with these instructions. They're just stupid. The pictures are far too small. The instructions are far too confusing. And I don't know what the hell this is supposed to be. If this is supposed to go on there like that, there's nothing to grab onto to make it tighter. It's just stupid. They really need to improve these instructions. So Troy-Bilt, this is not cool. I've tried every possible configuration on this, and nothing really works. It's lame. Try to screw this in and nothing happens. I ended up having to take the mower back to Lowe's. I put the assembled mower in the front seat and the box in the back seat of my convertible. I have a video up about that extravaganza. But the employees at Lowe's also couldn't get this pull cord pulled out. And finally he worked a little bit with the handle and was able to really yank on this cord to get it to come out. Just as an FYI to anyone who buys this model, that is an issue. After I took it back and the employee at Lowe's gave this a really, really good yank on it, this was released. Somehow it was hung up when I first bought it, and I was not able to get the cord pulled out. Neither was the employee at Lowe's until finally we just decided, okay, we're going to break it. So it is like a really strong pull to get this thing started, and then it just comes up through this, and it's supposed to be able to start like that. I'm really not happy with this right here. This does not feel secure at all. Like when I'm going to be mowing, it just doesn't feel very tight there. I'm about to put the oil and the gas in here and see how we go. Another confusing part of the instructions is about this whole thing right here. The cable ties were already on here. There wasn't anything I could do about that. That's another thing that led me to believe that somebody had taken this and started trying to put it together. And also this part was already done. So I'm not sure this was a new mower to start with. I think somebody's already taken it out of the package and tried to do some things with it. This is the part that needs to be improved because those devices that are supposed to tighten the handle are completely ineffective. Completely. There's nothing to hold on to on the brass end when the red part gets screwed as tight as it wants to go. So you can't really tighten these as they're delivered. So I've started it several times today, and it started on the first pull. Let's see if it does this time. Yep. My old Troy-Bilt is on the right. The new one's on the left. The old one, I bought it a long time ago and have never even had it serviced, and has never given me a minute's problem until last year when it wouldn't start. The handle on the old one is much more secure. It feels much more solid. As I said before, I'm really not impressed with these handles on this new Troy-Bilt. The hand controls are very simple. On the old one, they were more comfortable because it had this padded bar. And then my friend David put a rope on here so that when I got it started, I could pull the rope up and it's hard to show you how to do this one-handed, but I could pull it together like that so I wasn't having to constantly hold this back because it was a little bit harder to pull back. This one is very easy to control, but it's just not super comfortable because it doesn't have a grip. But I'm wearing gloves, so it's not that big of a whoop. some major things I don't like about this. I don't like this handle situation here. That was not cool, Troy-Bilt, by getting that starter cord, having to get it yanked like that. The old one was kind of slow, and I could make turns quite easily with it. I knew the pace. This one, the new one, moves much faster. You could see me in the video at the very end when I show you the full 15 minutes of mowing. It only took me 15 minutes to get this much mowed, and then I stopped. There's just a little patch over there that I need to finish up. It's the first mow of the season. The weeds, it's mostly weeds, not really much grass, so it's a little uneven, but my yard is pretty uneven. Plus, I have numerous anthills that I just mowed over, and it went over those just fine. I had some huge thistle plants that I'm like, no, I'm not cutting those down. I'm just going to let the mower do what it will on them. And for the most part, it took them down. It didn't mulch them up. So I'm going to have to come pick them back up or stick them in a hole like that to let nature do its thing. But it eventually did chop them down. Pretty nice clean cut there. But you can see that I had to go 2 ways to get it to cut, because the first one was just really kind of bending it. But not bad for the first cut of the season. The turns on the old one were easy to do. On this one, you can see in the long video, or the long section where I'm mowing, that I finally figured out that I needed to let off on the drive control when I'm making a turn. Otherwise, the mower just wants to scoot. So I'm going to mow the rest of the yard, the side and the back, and perhaps I will get more comfortable with that. But other than the instructions just basically, they suck. They really suck. If you know how to do it, put a lawnmower together, and you don't really have to go by the instructions, then you're not going to have a problem. If you're a newbie like me and need like idiot instructions, yeah, they don't give you those. They don't give you those at all. I just finished the first mow of the year with the Troy-Bilt, and whew, my heart rate's up. The yard is so uneven and so unruly. What I do like about it, the one start, that's true, it started every single time on one pull. Sometimes it didn't seem like it wanted to, but it did. I also like that it's fast, it's pretty speedy. It's also very powerful, and I put it through the abuse test, and it went over everything, and sometimes it went over some things, and it's like, are you sure you want me to cut that up? But it did. It took on everything and kept on going. I do like that mulch feature where it didn't spray the grass out, but you can see I'm going to have to clean it out a little bit. It's kind of wadded up in there. It never went dead on me. What I don't like about it was while these are easy to use, they're not really comfortable. I wore some really thin gloves, but the vibrations are, if you have weak hands or weak grip, you're going to notice that after a while. It took me probably a couple hours to mow this time, and I'm going to think about something to put on there to pad it or make it a little bit more comfortable. But other than the initial startup and me learning how to turn it by letting off of the drive control, and this just being a little uncomfortable, it's not bad so far. I'm going to clean it up, store it, probably use it next week or the week after. Next time. While the assembly was not pleasant, it was easy to use and did a great job on my yard, in my opinion. The yard looks pretty good. as I said, my yard is really rough. That was the first mowing, so it was mostly weeds. Walking around the next day, I can see places that I missed. But I was pretty satisfied with how the Troy-Bilt mower handled the hills, the roughness in my yard. It's very uneven. A lot of roots. Lots of new rocks that I found. Kind of whacked on that thistle. Lots of ants. Lots of holes. But it took everything I threw at it and kept on going. Also, I was able to mow this part down here. Usually I only mow to about right here where it's flat. I've never taken the mower down this far. It's just been too rocky and too uneven. But since it was so powerful, I thought, what the heck, let's try it and see what happens. I actually drove it over some of these leaves to try to mulch some of them up. And it worked fairly well. And I even took it up here on the side of the road, which I've never, ever even attempted to do any of this. My neighbors usually handle that, or the city does maybe once a year, or they do it with a weed eater. So I needed a mower for uneven terrain, and that one worked. Seeing areas that I missed. It's definitely not a flat yard. Definitely not a lawn.
Thanks for watching. Remember, it's free to like, subscribe, leave a comment, share this video if appropriate. Reading instructions is not fun, so I was doing some back exercises and stretching my piriformis something that's giving me troubles. Thanks for watching. Bye. I forgot the kiss. Until next time. Bye. Take care of yourself. Yes, I did get the lawnmower out of the back of my Mustang by myself and actually put it back in and got it out again. That's another video. I'll link it here. And even Troy-Bilt liked my post on Instagram about that. Are we still filming?